YouTube or Etsy or whatever you're watching this on, I'm going to read my own numerology with my new system, and hopefully all goes to plan. So I'll just start with my life path. So my life path is a 36-9. So I'm just going to grab a color down here. We'll make it pink because that's one of my favorite colors. So up here, I'm a 36-9. So what that means is blessings. So I'm very lucky, very, very lucky. The 3, just on its own, is lucky. And then the 3, the 6, and the 9. So God's numbers are 3, 6, and 9. 3 because, well, they're all creative numbers for a start. The 3 because it is linked to Jesus, the Trinity, for example. It is also perceived that Jesus was 33 when he died, and it's perceived that he was walking a master number 33 life path, which is the life path of the master healer. So it's called the master healer because 3 + 3 = 6. So 6 is actually a very healing, creative number in a more practical way, because it is births, deaths, marriages. So you've got the births, it's very physical, creative. It can also be government and like bureaucracy because it's a community number. So it's not always just, it's not always just your family community or your friend community. It can also be government because, you know, that's just very outside of yourself. So it's creative in a more physical way, whereas the 3 is more creative in a, you know, artistic, exuberant, expressive. You know, they're quite a character. The 3 vibration as a life path or as a personality type tends to be more sort of like your class clown. My nephew is a 3 life path, and he's always laughing and he's always playful and wants to run around, and he's so expressive. And then at the end of the day, he puts himself to bed because he's worn himself out. So that's the personality type of the 3. So that's very creative. The 6 is very nurturing and healing and life-giving creativity. And then the 9 is God's final number. It's the true infinity. If you add up 9, 9, 9, 9, like 9 + 9 + 9, which is the formula for numerology, is just number plus number plus number, single digits, until you get to the final result. You can add up as many 9s as you want in a row. Whatever that final result is, however many numbers it is, if you add those numbers up, 1 + 1 + 1 + 1, and then reduce it back down to a single digit, it will always come back to a 9. So you start with 9s and then you get back to 9s. So to me, 9 is the true infinity. 9 also represents endings, because it's the last of the numbers. You know, you've got your cycle 1 to 9, and then you have outside of that master numbers. So so the 3, the 6, and the 9 together at the end there, it's like a key code. I'm not the only person who has this. You know, obviously there are many people who have this key code in their energy. So because it's like pure creator energy, it's a God code. So anyone born in May in 1988 who was born on the 5th, let me think about this, the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd, they will have this exact same life path. So Adele, for example, she was born on the 5th of the 5th, 1988. Because see this 2 and 3, 2 + 3 = 5. So this is essentially 5, and then we've got a 5 here. So yeah, anyone born on those days in May in 1988 has the same life path as me. So I'm just gonna clear those. So yeah, the interesting thing about it is the way I've experienced it manifest in my life has been very synchronistic events, to the point where I don't notice anymore. I take it a bit for granted because it's just like, yeah, well, of course. Of course that crazy synchronistic thing happened. Sorry, I'm like moving it a bit. Of course that crazy synchronistic thing happened in my life. I'm used to it. Other people are not. I went to a a freedom march with a friend. We just decided, she messaged me, she's like, I don't want to miss out. But we're both low on energy and we're like, oh, let's just drive in and into town and see what happens. So we drove in last minute, like literally last minute. Everyone who was going had left like an hour before. And it takes like a half hour to get into town. We get there, we're trying to go park near where this thing is happening. And we're about to go across a set of lights and it's like, oh no, you can't go. I'm like, okay, so we waited and then we waited and then we waited and the police had actually stopped the lights because the march was coming. So we were stationed there and we watched the whole march go by, like front row seats. It was crazy, it was amazing. And she just kept saying, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh, wow. And I was like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, oh, wow, this is great. But then like it wore off really quickly and I was like, oh yeah, of course. Like, this is just my life. So I didn't get super caught up in it. I was like, well, yeah, obviously that's going to happen. That's just how it goes. So synchronistic things always happen. It's always been like that. I can remember a time where my friend was having like a vintage style wedding. And so I wanted my hair done a specific way and I wanted my makeup done because I'm just not good at that. And I called my hairdresser and I said, can you style my hair like this? And she was like, yes. And I said, do you have like a resident makeup artist or something? And she's like, oh no, we don't have anything like that in shop. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, oh, hang on a minute. My sister-in-law's in my chair right now and I'm doing her hair and she's a makeup artist. And I was like, oh, okay. So I got my makeup artist and my hairdresser in one go. Welcome to my life. It's just how it is. So the 3, the 6 and the 9 is very synchronistic. You know, this is a key code for the creator. I might make that a little bit, the pen a bit thicker. So the 3, the 6 and the 9, very synchronistic. It's the creator's numbers. So I'm very blessed. And the 9 life path is perceived as a blessed life path. So this is my full vibration, this 9 here. So 9 is very creative, as I've already said. It's very wise and benevolent. It's a humanitarian number. So like when you get to the end of that span of lives, 1 to 8, the 9 is the reward. It's like, oh, yes, like you stuck through, you're at the end of a cycle for your soul, for incarnating. And the 9 is the reward for getting through all the life paths, especially the 8, because the 8 is very hard. Because it's quite karmic and you often have to repeat lessons until you get it. So the 8 life path is to finish off all the lessons in 1 to 7 that you didn't quite get in those lifetimes. And then, so the 8 can be quite hard work as a life path. So the 9 life path is perceived as this reward and a blessed life path. And honestly, like, aside from the fact that I've got this 3 and the 6 plus the 9, and it's very synchronistic, the 9 life path in itself is a blessing. So yeah, it's like the reward for getting through all those lives. So I'm very lucky. Now, I often find that people who have 1, 2, or more 9s, so 2 or more, I often find that they can get taken advantage of. I used to, but it was more so like emotionally, and people calling me and asking me for mental or emotional help and support. And as I've gotten older, I've learned to draw a line in the sand, and it's like, okay, at some point people have to be accountable for their own well-being, and you have to cut them loose, because you throwing yourself under the bus to help people doesn't work. You know, and because a 9 is wise and it has experience and it knows what it is to suffer, it doesn't want other people to suffer. So we do have to be careful not to throw ourselves under the bus for someone else, because it ends up harms us and the person, because then you're robbing someone of living their own life. So I've learned that lesson. You know, yes, you help people, you still help people, but at some point you have to go, okay, this is your stuff. You're old enough. You need to learn and figure out how to heal yourself. Because otherwise, yeah, you just end up getting sick and drained, and you're no good to anyone then. Certainly not to yourself either. So I do blue here. So with this 23, this comes down. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. So we've got a 5 here, and then we've got a 5 here, because 0 plus 5 is 5. So we've got these 2 5s here. Now I see this as a kind of a key code as well. So because fives represent balance, freedom, movement, and change. So, and it's a bit of a challenge for me, because this, let me just get the red, this position here in my month, so I read the Australian way, so this is month here, and this is day. And obviously we've got year. So in the position of month, 5 is my strength, but it is also my struggle. So it can be a bit of a challenge. And because I've got this double dose of 2 5s, it is an extra challenge, and kind of like a master number, because they are side by side. You know, if we were just looking at the numbers all added up, it would be 5, 5, 1, 9, 8, 8, 3, 6, 9. Like if these two were just one single digit and this was one single digit. Now, 1988, we'll get onto that in a minute, but that would still, it would still be an 8. So this adds up to 26 and then 8. So we'd have this 8 here, an extra 8. But yeah, I will get to that in a minute. Just backspace that so you don't get confused. So we've got this Master 55 here. So the Master 55 is, because it is a very wise number, it's sort of like a challenge, or like a pinnacle in the middle of the numbers, whether it's just a straight 5 or a 55. It's between the 1 and the Master number 11 and the 9 or the Master number 99. So it's like this pinnacle in the middle. And when you experience balance, freedom, movement, change, it's not really a 1 and a new beginning, and it's not really an ending. It's kind of this place in the middle where your life kind of gets a bit shaken up and changed. But yeah, so it can be a challenge. And then because 5 plus 5 equals 10, which equals 1, so you add those two together and then we get a 1, it also holds, it does hold that new beginning energy. So the 5 can be like because it's wise, it's like a way shower in a new beginning or a new way or a new earth. It holds a lot of light and a lot of wisdom. You know, when you can go through balance, freedom, movement, and change and master that, you can show other people the way forward out of just about anything, really. Because if you can find balance in anything, you'll probably be okay. You know, as humans, we overdo things, and that's where we get into trouble. So yeah, and then the 55, because of the 5, has a lot of channeling ability. So it's just a natural, and it's quite a chatty number. You know, if you look at the chakras, it's your throat chakra. So, so the 5, it is naturally kind of intuitive, but I would say more like probably clairsentient, clairaudient. It just sort of speaks the truth. And people with 5 in their energy usually have people, just random people, anyone telling them their life story. I've certainly had that. Because they know, you know, humans sense energy. We don't realize it yet, but we do. Everyone, even people that don't do what I do and don't have my ability, they still sense energy. So they'll come up to me and they know they can trust me with this 9, you know, and the 6 and the 3 as well. You know, they can sense that I'm not a threat to them. I'm not going to go blabbing about their problems. Like usually in the past, friends will tell me secrets or gossip or whatever. And then months later, they'll be like, oh, do you remember how I told you about so-and-so? And I'll be like, no, you didn't tell me that. Yeah, I did. And then they'll tell me and I'll be like, it's like the first time I ever heard it. So people tell me their secrets and I forget. So no one ever has to worry about me blabbing about anything. And I think people sense that. And then there's, because of the 5 having the channeling ability, people sense that. They know that you're going to give them good advice when they tell you their life story. So not only do they know, okay, it's safe to tell this person this information, but they're also going to give me what I need to hear in response. So yes, the 5s can be a bit of a challenge. Okay, the next thing I'll talk about is this 3 and this 3. So this isn't a master key code or anything. It's just an interesting challenge because you've got more than one. So as soon as you've got more than one number, it's a challenge because you've got an overbalance, or it's a challenge and an underbalance, and something you need to rise up to and aspire to. So because of, it's like with anything. So like I said before, with these 9s, when you've got more than one 9, you get taken advantage of, because people can sense that humanitarian value in that number, even if they don't realize it. So the 3s, because 3 holds, as I explained, the Christ consciousness, the Trinity, the Master Healer, all of that energy is like a martyr. It's sort of like every number has its positive and its negative. So 3 it's more, we'll start with the negative aspects and finish what's nice. So the 3 has this martyr energy, and I've found that it can mostly, almost without exception, it's usually a sign of bullying, especially if you've got more than one. So I've got 2. When I was probably from primary school and kindy, I think I did have friends, but by primary school, I just got so bullied. I was bullied until year 5. So from reception to year 4, just horribly bullied, like to the point I would come home crying, like this little girl just coming home crying. I don't know how my mum did it. It was awful. So yeah, people bullied me. I didn't have many friends in my year level. Like I had year 7 buddies, but mostly I remember being alone a lot. And I remember my friends would play a game where they would tell me to get on the ground and put my hands over my head and not look and count to like 50 or 100 or something. And then they'd be like, oh, we'll go and hide. But they'd just run away. They wouldn't hide in the area, they'd just run away. And I'd walk all over the school. So it was 4 primary schools on one big campus. And our school was like a small private school. And then there was another small private school. And then there were 2 small public schools. So it was 4 schools on one campus. They're like separate schools, but like on this huge campus. So I'd walk all over the campus and I'd find them like so far away. And so it was pretty clear that they had not hidden anywhere near where I was. They'd just pissed off. So that was the kind of stuff that I dealt with. Some people can find it's bullying or like abuse. Like some people grow up in a family home where there's harassment or bullying or even abuse. So it's anything that's in that like martyred energy where you're harassed or just subjugated to being treated awfully or experiencing abuse. I mean, you know, if torture and crucifixion and death doesn't represent bullying and harassment and abuse, I mean, I don't know what does. So yeah, 3s can be a challenge. So but they are one of God's numbers. 3 is lucky. Lucky number 3 is not a saying for no reason. I've got a dog here. Hi, come here. You can see her little head. Hi. Look, I've fed you twice today. Can you wait? Now go away. Hopeless. She is very food driven. She's like, oh no. Go away. Go lie down. I'll feed you later. You've been fed twice. Nightmare child. Anyway, so 3s are lucky. So whatever situation you're in, you'll always come out of it okay. So it is blessed with luck. It's also expressive and creative and happy and joyful, and it is a delightful energy to be in. You know, if you can live in a number 3 house, or a house where the numbers break down to a 3, so in a 1 + 1 + 1 format, you know, so say you're in a 30 house, 3 + 0 = 3. It is a fun, delightful, lovely house to be in. So like 39, 9 + 3 is 12, 1 + 2 is 3. That's the formula. So you can work that out to see what number house you live in. Because 3s are lucky and expressive and playful and jovial and fun, a 3 house is delightful. And so 3s in your numbers is lovely, and they are lucky, and you can use that. But, you know, the bullying aspect is something to consider. So I only have 1, 2, which is nice. So I do find that the 2 is all about weaving, and it's quite sensitive. So I do find that I do have some weaving capabilities, like the 2 along with the 3, 6 and 9, because 2 is all about connections and diplomacy and for it being very sensitive. And then the 5s are, and then you plus these and it comes to a 5. So the 5s are quite, they have that channeling ability. And then, yeah, with these 3 numbers and the 2, I'm a bit of a weaver. Like spiders are my totem animal. So spiders, obviously, are weavers. And we weave the fabric of our reality with our mind, you know, especially with our beliefs, which is, you know, to my mind, you think something, you know something, or you believe something. And belief is like that most deep ingrained experience that we have, that we weave our reality with. You know, if you can change deep ingrained beliefs about lack to abundance, or sadness to joy, or whatever it is, if you can change those deep ingrained beliefs from childhood, childhood is usually where those problems start, then you can change the fabric of your reality, because your mind creates your reality, and belief is just the most base structures for what you believe. So yeah, I find that spiders are always around for me. And I think that is just sort of reflective of this 3, 6 and 9, and then the 2 over here. So I'm going to clear those as well. So 1988. So let me get a different color. So 1988. Okay, here. 1988 comes to 26, and then 2 + 6 = 8. So obviously it's plus, plus, plus in there, and then you get this 26 here, and then we get the 8. So I have a master 88 here, and then we have an 8 here. So if we do 8 plus 8, we get 16, and then 1 + 6 = 7. So the master 88 is a master of enlightenment, and it's like personal enlightenment, because the 7 is all about self-development and intuition. So the 8 is, it sort of carries both. Whatever a master number adds up to, it carries it's like a dual energy. So with the 33, it is the master healer. So 3 + 3 = 6. We've been through this, but I'm just sort of trying to explain. So they sort of work in tandem together. So back to the 88. I'll just grab a different number, different color rather. So yes, the 88 is a master manifester. It's a master in its own personal reality. It's very powerful. It's also a big money number because 8s are a big manifester, and they're also karmic. So what you put out in the world, you get back. You know, some people see 8 as infinity, but I don't. The infinity symbol is like this, right? But the 8 is upstanding. It's not the same. To me, it is just not the same. 8s are more about as above, so below. That is what an 8 means to me. Whereas infinity symbol is like that and represents forever. Whereas the 8 is more as above, so below. So yeah, hopefully that makes a bit of sense. But yeah, because it is karmic and as above, so below, what you put out in the world, you get back. You can have a lot if you choose it. And then 1988 comes down to an 8. So you've got like this big energy, this huge energy. And, you know, it's essentially 3 8s, and 8s can be hard work. And because 8s are karmic, but it's also this position in the year, your year of birth is karmic in relation to the planet. So for the privilege of being here and the privilege of experiencing the world and being incarnated here, we incarnate, and our year of birth is the karma and the energy that we're burning off for the planet. So Gaia's energy that is unresolved and needs working. Everyone in every single year came in that year to help the planet burn off that energy, those lessons from that vibration. So my karmic debt to the planet that I'm burning off for Gaia, for the privileges of being here, is the energy of the 8. So it's hard work, it's management, it's organization, it's a money number. And of course, because it's karmic and it's in a karmic position, it can be quite difficult. But at the same time, you know, we're still human, and we can still utilize what we've been given and what our energy incarnated on. You know, and the thing about any number, the thing about all these numbers, is that we as a soul incarnate on that day because our soul resonates with that vibration. So no matter how hard your numbers are, you know, like, you were born for this. You know, I was born for this energy. I can absolutely handle it. You know, sometimes you think, oh Lord, not again, not more. No, but you can handle it. So yeah, a master number 88, it's a huge blessing, but it's also a huge responsibility because I chose to work off that sort of karma. Yeah, but then I can also use that 8, you know, if I work hard, because 8s are hard work. They're karmic. What goes out comes back. You know, what you put out into the world, you get back. As above, so below. If I put that into the world, I will get it back. So it's a manifester, because if you think it, you can have it, especially if you're doing the right things. You know, 8s are not about sitting about and not trying it. And maybe you do have to sit about for a while. I've had a lot of health issues, and since I was born, I was going to say since a child, but no, it's since I was born. And it's taken me like 30 years of my life to start to figure out how to start getting out of it. It's taken a lot. But just because I was bedbound and couch-bound and house-bound doesn't mean that I wasn't doing anything. You know, I never stopped learning and researching and reaching personal inner understanding. And yeah, like I never gave up. I was like, I am going to heal. I don't know how, but I'm going to figure it out. And I am, slowly. But yeah, if you try to do your personal best every day, even if that's just breathing, even if that is just coming to a mental and emotional understanding about yourself and trying to do a bit better every day, because the 8 is about doing, it's about hard work, organization, management. So even if you just self-manage and do the best you can, And for a lot of years, that's all I have been able to do. Yeah, I mean, you know, I could sit still and read numerology. I've been obsessed with numbers since 2012 when I learned Pythagorean numerology. And, you know, I mean, numbers have been a part of my life for my whole life. You know, when I was a kid, I used to always look at the clock and it was like 111, 222, 333, you know, all those master numbers. So once I learned numerology, it really put that sort of stuff into focus. And it's like, oh, numbers I've always had an affinity, and they've always been there for comfort, because I would always see them when I was really upset or having a hard time or in a bad situation. And it comforted me, like I didn't understand why, but now I see it as the energy of the universe just saying, you'll be fine, you're not alone. So yeah, so I see numbers like that as a blessing. And so the 88 and then the 5, you know, and then these synchronistic numbers. Synchronistic numbers aren't really, it's not a master number. I see it more of as a key code. Perhaps you could see it as a master number. It probably doesn't really matter, but I see it more as like a potential or a key code. So, this is the name that I'm planning on taking. I can do my birth name sometime. That might be interesting for people. Yeah, you know, if you want to get to know me even more, you know, let me know. So yeah, I've crunched these numbers. Now, how do I want to do this? I'm just trying to figure out what colors. Yellow, just like a super yellow. I wish I could set colors. Oh, is this how? Like that? I don't know. I'm still getting to know this technology, so sorry. Don't mind me. Oh, okay, that is how we do it. Okay, lovely. So we've got a 33 here. That's a key code. Oh, is that too? Oh yeah, that is a bit too dark. That's a bit better. Is that still? Take it down even a little bit more. So, because there we go. I don't want the highlight to be too dark. So there's a key code there, and now that 33, that master healer energy, that manifests in my personality. So people see me as a master healer, because your personality is like, you know, the way you move in the world. So it's the way other people see you. And then we have an interesting one down here, 373, which also manifests in my personality. So this is a master healer gate. Oh, hang on. It's a master healer gateway. So let's grab a bit of pink. I do love a bit of pink. And then bring that down, add that color. So we have this master healer gateway, which is also in our personality. So I find this very interesting. Now, I was born with the names Claire Elise. I have added Jane, which is my mum's name, and I changed my surname. My surname is not Jane, but I think I'm going to change it to Jane. I'm pretty sure. So, but, you know, I'm a Gemini. I could change my mind at any moment. So, and a woman. So we've got this master number potential in my name, this master healer, and then there's this master healer gateway, and then the result is the 7. So 7 is very introspective and intuitive. It's a big self-development number. So I think people might see me as a master healer, and then they see me again as a master healer who has mastered like self, or in the future they will. So yeah, these are interesting key codes, and then they actually do come out together in my personality. So what else have we got? Just go down a bit. Okay, we'll go back to highlighter, and then we'll go back to this color. So we also have another one here. So we have this 797. It's like another key code. So this is my full expression, my heart's desire, and my personality. So I find this really interesting because the 7 here comes out here as like a master 77 gateway. And then we've got the 9 in the middle, which is also interesting because that's my life path number. So it means my life path number will be in synchronicity with the full vibration of my heart's desire, which is your soul's urge in this life. It's what you most want. So it will be like this lovely synchronicity. So yes, that's why I'm thinking about dropping the surname I have now and just keeping Claire Elise Jane. My mum's surname is Jane, so that would be nice. So yeah, so we go from, and now these also, the interesting thing about these is that this is a final result. So we start off with these just being in my numbers, you know, in my name. And then we move across in each instance to my personality and the way people see me as a master healer, and having a master healer gateway to self-development and improvement and inner knowing and understanding yourself on a deep personal level. And then it translates down here to this 7 gateway, this master 77. Now, master 77 can be, and fortunately it's not this next to each other. That would be even more alarming, because I find that 7s on their own can have addiction issues. I think it's because they're so sensitive and intuitive and they feel the energy of other people. Yeah, and I don't know what it is. I think it's because it's a self-development number and it's about going within and introspection and really feeling what you're going through and growing through that. Most people try to avoid that. So I think that's why they have addiction issues. For me, it's sugar and junk food, like full disclosure. I am not perfect. So, you know, I do have a few 7s and then, you know, in prominent positions. So yeah, I do have a few gateways though. So I've got the Master Healer Gateway to get to the self-development. And then once I've mastered that self-development up here, I can then utilize this in a major gateway, because these are the final results. So I can utilize the Master 77. So 7 plus 7 equals 14. 1 plus 4 equals 5. So, and that is interesting as well, because we've got these 2 5s up here. So yeah, it's already energy that's familiar to me because it's in my life path. And because your day of birth is what you want to give back to the world, and then your month of birth is your strength and your struggle. So it's like we come all the way down here, you know, into my name and me. Like, your life path is an aspect of you, but your name even more so, because, you know, your life path is just your day of birth. And whilst it's very important, your name is what's unique to you. So yeah, we come down here, and then these 2 7s add up to a 5, which is familiar energy. And it's also like, you know, I've found that balance. And because 7s are all about self-development and that personal inner knowing, it's like the master of your own reality. And yeah, like that, because 7s are so intuitive, it's like a master of knowing and higher divine wisdom, because 7 is heaven blessed. So that's another lovely thing about 7. So, you know, all numbers have their strengths and their weaknesses. So the 3s are lucky, the 7s are heaven blessed, the 9s are God blessed. So yeah, so I have this Master 77 wise master who has mastered balance and freedom, which comes down to this 9 here in the middle. So the gateway is the 77 master, and then the 9 is like the reward, or like the destination. And then that aligns with my life path up here. So yeah, it's just beautiful synchronicity, which is why I'm like, ooh, I think I will change my name to this. Because I'm like, okay, wow. I might do it like this now. Now the other thing that was quite interesting is that I have a 6 here, a 6 here. These are final results. So for my heart's desire and personality for Claire, for my heart's desire for Elise, for my heart's desire for Jane, for my heart's desire for my personality for Jane, and then I've got this last 6 up here. So 6 6s are 36. So as you can see, we've got this, you know, I've got 6 6s. Oh, that was supposed to be green. Okay, there we go. So 6 6s are 36. So I've got 5 in my energy, might swap to red. So 5 in my energy, and then the last one tied to my life path. And then they all together add up to 36. I mean, how's that for synchronicity? I just love that. It was just 4144. As I said that, I love it. So yeah, I'm like, wow, okay, more synchronicity. And that's sort of like, I did this reading like this week, or I think it was this week, and I thought, oh, I think I will change my name to this. Because the synchronicity is incredible. Like I need this Master 33, you know, I need this master gateway to personal understanding and development. And then I need this gateway down here for having to be the Master 77, and then to come to this divine universal wisdom through personal wisdom. So yeah, I'm like, yes, please. And yeah, the fact that it fully aligns with my life path, that heart's desire aligning with my life path. Let me erase those, because it gets a bit messy and overwhelming. We just need a reset now and again. So because I've got this 9 and it goes down here, so yeah, it's in my heart's desire. So my soul urge and my heart's desire is my life path. You know, my life path is my heart's desire. It's just perfect. So yeah, I just love it. And then, you know, we've got a 3 here, which is already familiar energy, you know. So let me see, is that okay, so this is also quite interesting. So I've got 3 3s here. I love that. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 9, you guessed it. So, you know, it's just another synchronicity. And this is what I look for in numerology, to know that I'm on the right path. Hang on. Oh my goodness. I've barely taken a breath in like 44 minutes, let alone a sip of water. So my throat's like, help. So yeah, this is what I look for in numerology. I look for synchronicities. Synchronicity, especially when you have synchronistic numbers, it makes life easier, especially because you're in energy that is familiar, it's comfortable, you know, you're going to be able to, I mean, sometimes comfort can be a bit of an enemy, but sometimes it's powerful, because you're like, oh, I can do this. I know this energy. I know what to do. So yeah, I'm fingers crossed. Oh, and then also, Yeah, I don't think I need, I'll just erase that part as well. Let's do a bit of a cerulean sort of colour. Yes, that aqua's quite pretty, isn't it? Okay. Oh, is this an highlighter? Okay, that should be good. Okay, so I almost forgot more key code. So we've got 11 here. And then what goes nice with aqua? Maybe orange. I know that's a bit weird. Orange? No, yellow. Yellow. Like a really vibrant yellow. A little bit. Hopefully that's okay. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so in my new surname, which is was my mum's middle name and it's now her surname, we have these beautiful 1155. Jane. So the interesting thing about this is, so your heart's desire is your vowels. That's how we calculate it. Your personality is your consonants. So Jane is very interesting. So A, E, I, O, U, E. So 1 and 5. And then consonants, J and N, 1 and 5. So fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And then we've got this final 6 energy. Amazing. And then also, if we look over here at the 3, you know, we've got God's numbers again. Amazing. So 6 plus 6 is 12. And then we've got 15. So 6 plus 6, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then 1 plus 5 equals 6. Like, I'm just saying. Okay. So, it's just synchronicities, you know. That's what we've got to look for, because that shows us that we're on the right path. We're in synchronistic mirror and strength and flow with the universe and ourselves. So let me see. Okay, I should probably talk a little bit about the 11. So the 11 master. 11s are the master of enlightenment. So that can be academically or spiritually, any kind of knowledge, whether it's practical real world or spiritual esoteric. You want to master enlightenment. And yeah, so it is really about mastering your mind and knowing the world and yourself and spirituality. And then the 55, we've already sort of talked about, which is a nice, lovely synchronicity again with my life path. So yeah, we've got that 55, that way shower, that light bearer, that leader of new beginnings, because the 55 is a master. So if you can master something, you're a master, and people will look to you for leadership. And because the 55, so 5 plus 5 equals 10, 1 plus 0 equals 1. So especially with the 55, because, you know, people look up to masters and they go to learn from masters, but then the 55 also comes to a 1. So it is a natural leader. And it is naturally about new beginnings and being that wise master, that wise counsel and leader. So yeah, I've got a double whammy of it, and a key code and synchronicity. So yeah, and then this is my this energy is from my mum as well, because it's her name. So the full vibration of Jane as a family number, the goal is joyfulness. You know, it's this 3. The goal is to be happy and expressive and creative, and, you know, so I think that can be like creating a fun, happy, playful family. So I think that's a great energy for a family number. Now the heart's desire for Jane is 6. So 6 is all about births, deaths, marriages, healing, family, community. I'm like, that's perfect for a family. And then personality is, it's the same as your heart's desire. So what you want for your family is how other people perceive your family. So they perceive you as being authentic. Whenever you have any synchronicities in any of these 3 columns, like if this was a 6 and this was a 6, that especially is quite interesting, because this 6 from your full expression, that would be the way your family is perceived. And then, so hang on, let me just go back a little bit. So if you're, let's say as a person, I'm just going to do a bit of teaching because it's kind of interesting. So the 6 here, if you had a 6 in your full expression, and then in your full personality, you also had a 6. So who you are, your full expression of who you are, is literally how people see you. So it's like what you see over here. So what you see is literally what you get. Literally. I just read Princess Diana, but I might read her again using this system because it's very helpful. And her full expression was literally her personality. So with Princess Diana, what you see, whoever you perceived her to be, was literally who she was. There was no lying, there was no bullshit, there was no deception. That is who she was. So however you perceived Princess Diana, you are correct. Unless you think she was some evil person, in which case, shut your fucking face. Obviously, I have a bias, but so yeah, I think maybe I've essentially covered it. I mean, I do like over here in Elise, I've got this 19, which comes to a 10, which then comes to a 1. So it's a good practical number. It's more of a grounded number. So like the 8s are really good because they're more practical. 1s are good because they're practical. 5s are sort of in the middle because they're balance, freedom, movement, change. Those are kind of practical things, applicable things in your life. But then it's also channeling numbers. So it is sensitive and intuitive and wise. So it's a bit in between. But then we have over here, we've got 13, 4. So you can see how quickly I managed to knock off a lot of these numbers because we had all these synchronicities and things. So yeah, but this 13, 4, this 4 is very grounded. 4s are a building number. So they're very practical, very down to earth. They're everyone's rock. And, I think that's a part of my personality, is how people are going to perceive me as someone that's dependable, that, can build and be that good foundation for other people and for myself. So that is a good practical number to have, especially because I've got, the 9s, the 7s, the 3s, the 6s, they're all quite sensitive numbers. So having this practical 1 and this practical 4, we've got an extra 8 there, an extra 4 there, an extra 1 here. Yeah, it's just nice to have some 8s, some 1s, and yeah, 2 4s. So, it is in synchronicity with my energy. I am not a grounded person. Thank God for these 8s, and it comes to a 26, and then that comes to an 8, because if it weren't for all these 8s, I probably wouldn't be grounded at all. But the 8s are just get back down to earth. But it's something that I'll have to be aware of. If I feel a bit too floaty or whatever, it's okay, I need to ground myself. That's just life. We have easy points in our numbers and we have difficult points in our numbers. It's just the way it goes. So I think I talked about all the aspects of my numbers. I don't think that there is anything else. But yeah, I hope that's been interesting, and you know, let me know how I did, if it makes sense, or if I missed something. Because yeah, this is, I've still read the same way I would, although it is a little bit distracting doing it on a tablet. You know, but it is easier to show people. Like I used to have a I don't want to cancel my screen recording, but I used to like show the camera just on a like I'd write in a notebook, but I'm like, I'm so sick of having notebooks everywhere. I just want to have it on a tablet. I can take it wherever I go. You know, I can screen record and record this, and then I can put it into iMovie and make something that people can really enjoy. And I can really take people on a journey, and they can see it next to my face. They can decide which they want to look at. So, you know, I wouldn't want to just do the screen because, you know, it would be a bit boring because I do address the camera a lot. So, you know, hopefully this has been enjoyable. Let me know. Yeah, hopefully this has been interesting, and I really enjoy doing it this way, honestly, because I do tend to highlight and circle, and then I'll just like point to things, but this is even better because I can mark it up and then I can just, it's gone. It's gone, and it's just nice and pretty and plain, and yeah, you know, if I need a second page, I can put a second page, and yeah, I think this is great, and you can follow along and you can see what I'm talking about. And you know, if I make enough videos and make them public, you know, not all clients will want to be public, but if I just read celebrities and things, people can follow along and see what I'm doing and start to learn just by observing, you know. I love watching Tarot by Janine because she reads and she explains, like she says this, and then, but she'll also sort of explain the cards, and I'm like, it helps me to have a better understanding about tarot. You know, I've never been super drawn to it because I don't like reading like the description of what the cards mean, and I don't read all that often. Like I really only read for myself. I don't, you know, I don't think I could read very well for other people, but if I can learn and learn in a way that's interesting and fun, you know, I'll get better at it. And I really enjoy watching her read. So I'm just like, hey, if I can do a similar thing and show you what the numbers mean and the positions and how they aspect each other and how they complement each other or how they become discordant, and with a bit of a challenge, I'm like, oh, I'd love to do that. So yeah, I mean, you know what might be interesting, just quickly, because it's only an hour. I'm like, whatever, we're already at an hour. If you're still here, like, good on you. So we've got 23 plus 5 plus 20, 21. So I'm still in this energy now. So we've got 5. Oh, why did I write 25? Good Lord. 23. Which comes to a 5. Honestly, I do wonder about myself. Oh, and then 2, 2, and then 1 is 5. So this alone is interesting. Like, I'm glad I decided to do this. So we've got 5, 5, 5. So we've got a master 5, 5, 5. So that comes to a 15, and that comes to a 6. So that's all about healing, and let me tell you, I need that healing. So, yeah, I mean, that is literally the numerology for this year. And I am 33 years old, which is the master healer. So, master healer and a healing personal year. And the year of the planet is also a 5. Like, this I love this about numerology. It's just so interesting, like so interesting. So I mean, I really need this year. And thank God I'm still in it, because I have not gotten to mastering this healing. I have not gotten to mastering this healing. I'm getting there. I know what to do. But it's hard, you know, healing is hard. I've had so much gut damage in my life. The only way to heal it is through fasting, which, to be fair, is not that hard, because all you have to do is not eat. And your body can repair when it's fasting. But the other thing is, I can't eat plants. I'm allergic to plants. I love plants. They're so tasty, but I'm highly allergic. Even the ones that I'm not allergic to, I still have intolerant reactions to. It's just not as severe as the allergic reactions that I get to other plants that are really bad. So this year is all about healing, about mastering balance and healing. So for me right now, my balance needs to be fasting and carnivore with just probiotics, vitamin C, maybe a couple of other supplements, which honestly I react to anyway. So it's so hard. I know that sounds like pathetic, but I don't know. It is hard. But part of the reason that it's been hard is because I'm just alone all the time. You know, I basically live alone. My mum doesn't, she's basically never here. She lives at her boyfriend's house, which is nice. It's really nice having my own space. But because I've been alone for so long, like, I don't really have any friends, and all of my friends are quite sleepy and they just don't understand the world in the same way that I do. And we just don't know each other anymore. And I don't feel like I can have real conversations with them. And I had like 3 friends. One of them, I'm still friends with them, going to see next week, which is really nice. And she's awake and aware and fully conscious and critically thinking and wise. And I'm so, so blessed to still have her in my life. So yeah, I'm really grateful for her friendship. So for me, the balance, this 555, this huge balance healer, incredible number, is very much needed. So I'm getting better. I've decided that what I really just need to do is intermittent fasting for a while, and maybe like 1 24-hour fast a week, because anything more than that is a bit. And you know, if I am hungry, like before that time of the month, I'm just shoveling food in. It's ridiculous. But then once I get that time of the month, I don't eat. Like, I just naturally, my body's like, yeah, not really hungry. So yeah, I just need to ease into fasting and eat some of the vegetables that I can have, because otherwise I just go a bit mad, honestly. Like, I used to be vegetarian and vegan, and it not good. I'm sure it's fine for other people. You know, chlorella, spirulina, juicing, smoothies, supplements, like the whole fucking 9 yards. Or is it 10 yards? I don't know. But it didn't work for me. So I need to be carnivore. And for someone who chose to be vegetarian and basically vegan, because I'm just not a big dairy person, that's really hard. That is really hard. So yeah, I might just show you 23, 5, 20, 22. Oopsie, there is supposed to be a 0 there, but I'm like, let's not count it. So that's essentially a 5, and then this comes to a 6. So it will be 16, 7. So last year was a 15, 6. This year is a 16, 7. So it's really about personal development again next year. You know, I suppose personal development is kind of a form of healing, but it's also, I'm going to have the blessings of the 7, which will be lovely. And I've always got the blessings of this 3, like the luck of the 3. I've still got this 55 energy, and then we're all going to have to deal with this 222 energy. And then next year's, I'm still going to be having some of this healing, which is great. And there's healing here, and using those for self-development. And twos are very sensitive, just super sensitive. And they're also a diplomatic number. They're very, because they're sensitive, they can feel the pain and emotion of other people. And so, you know, once you can feel that, and then you can have some kind of understanding of what they're going through, you can sort of try and mediate and balance both sides. You can be diplomatic because you can, you know, you can show people on each side of a problem, hey, you know, this is their point of view. Like, you don't have to hate them or be mean to them. Hey, by the way, this is their point of view. You don't have to hate them and be mean to them. Like, so they can show people the reality on both sides and calm them down. But it is a very sensitive number. You know, people, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Like, whew, mate, I don't know. But it's a bit alarming to think about, but it is going to be good. It's going to be sensitive, and twos are a light-bearing number. So the light bearer tends to reveal information. You know, 2020 was all about revealing. So it was like revealing, and then like a reset, 0 point energy. And then revealing, and then a reset, 0 point energy. You know, those zeros were lockdowns. So yeah, you had sensitive energies, and then it came to a 4. Now, 4s can be stable, but they can also shake your foundations to their core. I mean, if that wasn't 2020, I don't know what is. So let me do it this way. Let's go back, and then and here. So which one we want to do? 2021. Whoops, what is going on here? 2021, there we go. Yeah, so this year was about, you know, revealing sensitive things, and then reset energy. You know, some places did still have the L word, which I don't honestly want to say again because I think YouTube might put me in trouble. And then you've got this extra 2 here, so it's like, okay, sensitive, revealing things again. And then now, you know, and I think you can kind of look at this at like as the 4 quarters of, really, Dasha? You're just gonna fucking stand there outside in the dark? Dasha! She's old and deaf. She's standing outside. She fucking does this. She's 14 years old. She's old. She's standing outside in the dark at the door that's closest to me so that I can see her. And she's like, can you feed me now? Look at me. Feel sorry for me. I'm outside all alone in the dark. You're a tosser. What are you? Your doggy door's open. What are you doing? Oh my God. The nerve of this child, I swear to God. So if you look at this as the 4 quarters of the year, we've got January to April. Hang on. No, it'll be March. Sorry. Don't stand out there and sook now. How dare you? So that's here. And then this is April to July. April, May, June, or maybe June. Sorry, I've never broken up like the 4 quarters of the year. So I'm like, I don't know. So July to September. And then here, October to December. So if we think about it like this, you've got these 4 quarters. So January to March was revealing things. April to June, probably more of the L word, house arrest. And then you've got more revealing things. And now we're in new beginnings. And thank fuck for that. So, and then next year, it's just going to be revealing things basically all year. We'll have a bit of a reprieve from April to June, a bit of a rest period. I don't know what that is going to look like next year. And then the ultimate result is healing. Excuse me, got kind of hiccups and I need to take my inhalers. So the end result is healing, you know, like, I mean, that could not be more needed. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen between now and this one that we're in. We're in this new beginning energy, and then it's going to take us to 2022, and we'll be in healing energy all year. But then we're also going to be in this too, more revealing things. And because it is in, so this two again is in this January to March period, it is still going to be in 2021 energy. So I do cusp energy. I'm actually going to do that again, using this system, because I think it's going to be really interesting and a lot easier for people to comprehend. Although maybe this is really messy and not making any sense. It could go either way. Maybe only I understand my madness. I'm a Gemini. It's a good kind of mad. I hope you've enjoyed this. Much love and luck to you, and take care, and I'll see you later. Bye.